I posted a community post asking you to give me some NFL takes to respond to, and I got some
interesting
responses. Let's dive right in. The first one I want to go over is that the Jets will challenge the Bills for the AFC East crown. Now, this one is a little confusing because on paper, the Jets are a better roster than the Buffalo Bills after the tremendous overhaul the Bills had this offseason, losing guys like Diggs, White, Poyer, and more. But the issue with the Jets is health. We have guys like Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles tear, Tyron Smith, who is always injured, Breece Hall, who is a year removed from his ACL tear, but that still is something to worry about, and just other old, aging players, as well as Mike Williams being hurt all the time. We don't know what we're going to get from this Jets roster as it heads into the season. This is something that we'll have to monitor throughout the year, see how the Jets are doing health-wise, but I will say I slightly agree with this take because the Jets on paper can beat the Bills in both matchups and win the AFC East. It all just depends on health. Their defense is top tier, top 3 in the league, and their offense has potential to be great with Breece Hall, Mike Williams, and Garrett Wilson. Let's not forget underrated tight end Tyler Conklin. This passing game and running game could be great, but it also depends on the offensive line, which is the reason why Rodgers got hurt, because on those first few plays, he was already getting pressured and then tore his Achilles. I'll say that this does have a chance of happening. The second one is that the Steelers' starting quarterback will be Justin Fields before Week 10. Now, they have a Week 9 bye. Russell Wilson has not been great the past few seasons with the Denver Broncos. There have been a lot of issues there with turning the ball over. Last year he was a lot more efficient, but he didn't really get the ball downfield. He didn't have that many yards, but his touchdown interception ratio was pretty good. The Broncos didn't win a lot of games. Now, this could be seen as a better offense in Pittsburgh. Legitimately, just depending how you look at it, they're kind of similar. But Russell Wilson has clearly lost a step. Whereas Justin Fields, while he has many issues, he could be seen as the player with a lot more potential, given his draft stock and the stuff that he has shown with running the ball and throwing deep for the Chicago Bears. Now, they did get rid of him for a reason. Yes, they had the number 1 overall pick, and Caleb Williams was right there, but Fields definitely had to be gotten rid of at the point that he did. Fields is a troubled player. He has a lot of issues from accuracy concerns and his ability to actually move in the pocket and stay in the pocket and really just field defenders, because he just loves to run out and make throws more difficult for himself than they have to be. So I will say I do agree with this take, because I think Russell Wilson will have a bad start to the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. They start in Atlanta, then go to Denver, then play the Chargers, play Indy, Dallas, Las Vegas, both New York teams, Washington, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and then it's the rest of the schedule, which is Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Kansas City, and then Cincinnati. This is a very difficult schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So at some point, Russell Wilson will be tested, and Justin Fields will come in to relieve him. And for this one, we're doing a 2-for-1. The Cardinals sneak into the playoffs this year, and Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a top 10 wide receiver out the gate. I'm going to strongly disagree that the Cardinals make the playoffs this year. If you look at the NFC, they have teams like the 49ers, Falcons, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, Bears, Rams, all teams clearly better than them, not to even mention teams like the Buccaneers that could potentially take them out of a playoff spot. Their division as well, the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks are all good teams. The Seahawks are on the right track. They are not a playoff team themselves, but this still puts Arizona in about the 4th best spot in the NFC West, so last. But they have gotten a lot better. They drafted Trey Benson, a backup running back in the 3rd round, as well as obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., and brought in Zay Jones. They upgraded their offensive line with left guard Isaiah Adams in the 3rd round, and signed Jonah Williams. And on defense, this is where they struggle. They did have a couple good signings. They brought in Justin Jones, defensive tackle, and corner Sean Murphy-Bunting. But that is not enough to bring your team to the playoffs after they just had a pretty porous season, landing themselves the 4th overall pick. Now, as for Marvin Harrison Jr., I agree with this take. He has every tool it takes to be an elite wide receiver from start to finish in the NFL. Marvin Harrison has everything you need to be an elite guy, and with Kyler Murray throwing you the ball And for him having more time in the pocket with an improved offensive line, I think he will get basically every target that there is. There's Trey McBride there, who's a promising tight end, as well as Michael Wilson, a decent second-year wide receiver. But that is not enough to take targets away from a guy who's picked 4th overall and is the best wide receiver prospect in decades. I completely agree with this take, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a top 10 wide receiver the second he steps into the NFL. Based off who's throwing the ball, a talented quarterback in Kyler Murray, a losing team so they'll have to throw more, Marvin Harrison will be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. The most complete receiver prospect I have ever seen, and he will prove it on every Sunday. Wait, have you heard of Underdog Fantasy? Underdog is the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite players' projections, and you can win up to 80 times your money in a single night. If you want to become a dog, go ahead and download the app, or go to underdogfantasy.com and use code FANATICS when you sign up. They'll match your first deposit up to $250 and give you daily special picks for your pick'em entries. Personally, I've been doing a lot of the drafts for the MLB the past few days, and it's gone very well for me, let me tell you. You draft your favorite athletes and compete against real people, and whoever's team scores the most fantasy points takes home the cash. Again, that is code FANATICS for a first-time deposit match up to $250. As a Patriots fan, I have to talk about the one that is about our team. Drake Maye will start week 1 for the Patriots. Strongly disagree. Now, there's obviously a chance he does, but I don't think he should, because it's best for his development as a rookie to sit behind a high-touted, veteran, journeyman quarterback. Now, he's not great in Jacoby Brissett, but by high-touted journeyman quarterback, I mean he's the one that everyone wants to be their backup, whether it's for a couple of years or whatever. He showcased that he can help a team win with Indianapolis, with Cleveland, and last year in Washington, he played pretty damn good in those 2 games at the end of the year. Jacoby Brissett is a perfect mentor for Drake Maye, because Jacoby was a little mobile in his younger days, now not so really. Drake Maye is also pretty mobile right now, and both can throw the ball very well, especially Jacoby as of right now. I mean, he doesn't really throw many turnovers or do any bad plays with any team he's been on. He's the type of veteran that you want teaching your rookie. Look at Jordan Love. He sat 3 years, was automatically a Pro Bowl level quarterback, and beat the Cowboys in the playoffs and almost beat the San Francisco 49ers. Keep doing that, NFL. It's clearly the method, as it's worked for the Packers for a good bit now with Rodgers and Love, and other teams as well. I just think that Drake Maye, if he started week 1, it would not be the best for his development. I mean, we did it with Mac Jones, and he was good as a rookie. Cam Newton was supposed to start, but then we ended up cutting him just because he wasn't worth our time. But I don't know if that's the move with Drake Maye. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatics Sports. If you made it this far in the video, come on, give it a like and subscribe to the channels. All support is very much appreciated. Helps me out more than you know. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatics Sports. And this is Joe of Fanatics Sports, signing off.